What's going on, Assassins? It's Dark Strider, and I'm just letting you guys know what's going on with this petition to prevent Assassin's Creed Shadows from ever seeing the light of day. Now, over in Japan, they have that petition. Obviously, we've been keeping an eye on it. Right now, it is at over 100,000 signatures. Now, why does that matter? It matters because, honestly, like I said, and I keep saying, and I believe it'll take a lot for you to change my mind on this. The petition is not going to move the needle. It's not. This game is still going to come out. The law cannot stop this game from coming out. Apparently, it went over to Parliament. While it was in Parliament, they said, yeah, it's not our thing. Over in Japan, that is. And right now, it's going nowhere. But the thing is that this petition blew my mind because it actually got in front of a senator, which I didn't even think it was going to build that much steam. So it's really shocking and amazing that it even came so far. Now, what happens if it hits its 150,000 signatures? If it does, then it'll go to the next stage. They might do, 250,000. They might do 500,000. It'll keep going from there. If it hits 1 million, it would have to hit like 1 million, let's say, in the next week in order for this to actually get Ubisoft's attention. They got a little bit of attention. They put out an apology. Some people don't think that apology was worthy of an apology. They think that it should have been a much deeper and more detailed apology, that it should say, hey, listen, and line by line explain why they did what they did and what they did what they did. And honestly, me personally, I don't think it's that serious where they would have to do it line by line. I do think, though, that maybe they do need to, somehow address that it's, some sort of like work of historical fiction. And this is the thing. There are a bunch of people who are just normies who, they just want to play the game. They don't understand what's going on with the Japanese, that it's like offensive or whatever. They think that maybe they're being a little too sensitive. People who are just, normies on the subject, they just want to play a game. They don't want to go into detail. They don't want to figure out what went wrong here. Unless it was super hyper offensive, then they could see that. But, the average video game player isn't interested in whatever's going on over in Japan as far as the anger and the outrage. They keep seeing it as, you're making a mountain out of a molehill, basically. That's the normie perspective. They just want to play the game. They just want to play a game that they think is going to be good, that they think is going to be fun. Now, that's not to say that, Ubisoft didn't purposely go for the attention grabber and, put out something so controversial, because, of course, the very first real life character that we play as, and you pick Yasuke. Out of everyone that you could have picked, out of every character that you could have picked, your very first venture, your only venture into using a real life historical figure, and you use Yasuke. We didn't play as George Washington. We didn't play as, any historical characters. The Pope himself, Rodrigo Borgia, who actually existed. We didn't get to play as him. We didn't do any of these things. Your very first foray, you go for something super controversial. So it was done, with a purpose, with an angle. That's what they did. But the thing is that, again, that is the bone of contention. There is way too much focus on Yasuke. That's why half the people don't take it serious. And the other half of the normies are just like, whatever, let's just play this game. We want the next game. Give us the next game. So, again, that's the normie perspective. Now, you know, it's possible that if this did get enough eyeballs, this did get enough signatures, that there would be even people like normies who want to find out what's going on. What is this controversy? Again, as it stands, it just looks like racism, you know, because we're focusing on the wrong things. Those of you who actually come out with other things, like, you know, historical, cultural revisionism, and you guys show your notes, you guys make a lot of sense. You guys are what, you know, people should be focusing on, but they're not, because, again, all they keep thinking about is the Black Samurai, because that's the main story constantly. It's just, it's wild. But this petition, over 100,000 signatures, when it gets to close to 1 million, if it got to like 1 million like today, that might be cause for concern. That might be something that they want to look into. But right now, the signatures that it has, it's not enough to make a dent, honestly. It really isn't. Again, it's not going to move the needle, but it is interesting to follow, because we keep seeing more and more things happening with this, going from a simple petition to a movement to being put in front of the Japanese parliament, to being ignored by the Japanese parliament, to the Ministry of Education in Japan now looking into it, trying to bring it before parliament with a whole fresh set of eyes, which is wild. I mean, what are your thoughts on this? What do you think would happen if it hit 1 million signatures, like let's say tomorrow? And what do you think will happen if this gets big enough of a momentum? Where do you think that this would actually do damage to what's going on, or would it take well more than what's going on now? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please make sure you like and subscribe. It helps this channel out an awful lot. As always, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. And until next time, take care, be good, stay safe, take care of each other. I'll see you all in the next one.
Yeah,